Okay, so here we are. Let's read the English here together. It says Leviticus, which in Hebrew is Vayikra, Leviticus 23:20. In the ESV reads, "And the priest shall wave them," meaning the animals that were commanded to be sacrificed, shall wave them with the bread of the first fruits, those would be those 2 loaves, as a wave offering before the Lord, with the 2 lambs, and they shall be holy to the Lord for the priest. Let's take a look at the Hebrew text here. Let's try reading together. Vahenif ha-kohen otam al. Patak is obscured a little bit. Lechem. Next line. Ha-bikorim tenufa lifnei Hashem al shnei kavasim kodesh yiyu ladonai lakohen. Let's try that again. I'm going to increase our speed. Vahenif hakohen otam al lechem habikarim tenufa lifnei Adonai al shnei kavasim kodesh yiyu ladonai lakohen. And let's bring this way out. Vahenif hakohen otam al lechem habikarim tenufa lifnei Adonai al shnei kavasim kodesh yiyu ladonai lakohen. All right, give yourself a pat on the back. Okay, let's break this down. So the first word, we've got the conjunction, vav, meaning and, as most Hebrew verses, many start off with the word and. So and, henif. So the verbal root of henif is nun, shurek, fesofit, nuf. It means to shake or wave something. This happens to be in the hifil stem. So that's a causative stem in Hebrew, meaning cause to wave. And that would be third person masculine singular. So without the vav, it's he caused to wave. With the vav is and he will cause to wave, reverses the tenses. And then it tells you who the subject is, who the he is. The he is the priest, HaKohen. So the priest will, and the English translations don't really indicate like the causative in this particular case. In some cases, it will alter the English translation. And in this case, it doesn't really alter that much. So it still has the meaning of like to wave. And so, and the priest shall wave otam, meaning them. And so we have an objective suffix, masculine plural suffix that is added onto the et. So otam. All categorically means upon, on, over. So for whatever reason, this has to be translated as with, because that's the true meaning. So I'm really not sure why all is appearing here as opposed to like the Hebrew for with, but it is nonetheless. And we see it a couple times in this Pasuk. So we'll translate it all as with. So we're talking about lifting up the lamb's offerings together with lechem, bread, habikarim, and the root of that, bachar, is something that's born first, or someone that is born first, or that takes place first. So like Yom HaBikarim is the day of the first fruits. So we're talking about lechem habikarim, so the first fruits of the bread. Tenufa, so we have that same verbal root nuf, meaning to wave or to shake. So tenufah is the noun form based on the verb nuf. It's the feminine noun, and that is a wave offering. So the thing that is waved is connected intrinsically to the verbal action of waving something. So we have the noun based on the verbal root. Lifnei Adonai, lifnei, literally to the faces of Adonai, faces, but that's always translated as before in Hebrew, but that may throw newer students when they see that, like, why are you calling that before? That's the Hebrew word in construct form for faces with a lamed preposition. To the faces of equals before Hashem. And then again, all with shnei. So shnei would be two of. That's the number 2 in construct. So all, so with 2. The kavasim. That's the Hebrew word that means lambs, sheep, and ram. So kavas is a lamb, a ram, sheep. Kavasim, plural, more than one. Kodesh Yu, word for holy. Kodesh, holy. So we have the noun first, and then the verbal form after it. They will be. So that's the verb, the stative verb haya, to be. And then the shuruk at the end means they. So they will be. And people struggle, newer students struggle with the hey. They try too hard to pronounce the hey in stative verbs. And I instruct people just to pretend the hey doesn't exist. And just say ye, you, because you're going to get a little bit of sound of a hey even when you are pretending it doesn't exist, and that will suffice for the proper pronunciation. You. Ladonai, to Hashem, Lakohen, for the priest. All right, so let's run through it again. And the Kohen will wave, the priest will wave them with the bread of the first fruits, a wave offering. So the bread of the first fruits along with the lambs will be a wave offering before Hashem. So with the 2 lambs, Kodesh, holy, they will be holy, to the Lord, for the priest.